Hey, y'all. Peace and greetings. On to my folks. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. As you guys can hear, well, maybe you can't hear. I'm over here trying to find a song to lead off with on my shuffle. I was hoping for this one reggae song to come up, but it didn't. But instead, Trillville. As Will would say, because I'm stuck in '08. And I need y'all to all mind your business, please, and thank you. Let me and my Trillville and my little John so I can scream at niggas that they can't get on my level. Bitch nigga, you could never ever, 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 ever. I'm sorry, let me calm down because this shit about to get me excited. Get on my level. About to come into the chat, start mushing. What's up, chat? Come on in here. For Wago, a familiar, shout out to Nobody's Home Friends for blessing us with the new international name, Steve's. Thank you all so much for joining me. Shout out, and I'm so sorry to the person that just became a new member, because Will ear doctored your whole name. And so shout out to Calandre, Kali. How about that? Thank you so much for your membership support. We appreciate it. Bienvenidos a la Fuego Familia. Muchas gracias. So I want you guys to tap the buttons, push some subscriptions and the like, and we're going to get into some stories. I've got some good news for you guys too. A little BIDWKB merch offerings. Maybe it's Cops Ain't Shit merch. I don't know. It's a rumor. I can't confirm nor deny. But if you go to the merch store, you might see some shit out there with your name on it, and it's emblazoned Cops Ain't Shit. And I said, what can I get the Fire Fam for the holiday season? I said, let me get them some Anthem merch, because you know how we feel about the police around here, and it's not very high. So, speaking of, y'all, I mean, I wanted to bring to the fore, and you've heard me talk about this several times here and there, but I can't underscore it enough. Okay. The time to be drawing lines between these federalized Gestapo, these deputized Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, and your regular PD, your regular local yokel police department, ain't no Robin Thicke, ain't no blurred lines. Okay. It is all ICE, is all cops, and all cops are ICE, and they all are Nazis, and they all are Gestapo. And as one deputized group of so-called federal agents commits actual felonies, denials of constitutional and civil rights to people who are very deserving of them, the so-called law enforcement, the regular ass cops, the PD, don't do a fucking thing. Okay. And I'm tired of seeing these Democratic politicians at the local level, at the mayoral and at the governor's level, tell these stories about how big city police are not participating in so-called immigration. Immigration. Am I saying immigration? I am twice. Let's try this again. Immigration enforcement. I'm trying. I'm sorry. Now I'm ear doctor. The immigration enforcement. You understand? So Metropolitan Police, DC Police have been hand in glove with the federal agents. And the reason why thousands of Washington residents have been picked up by Homeland Security, ICE, whoever the fuck, is because Metropolitan Police, DC Police, were literally taking them by the hand and bringing them into the neighborhoods and into the areas where they knew that there were high concentrations of folks who were undocumented or who were in migrant communities, right? So the police are absolutely your local tax funded police that you pay with your local state taxes, right? I know we all pay the Fed bill, right? And the Fed bill go to the Pentagon and DOD and all kinds of shit that we do not support. But at the local level, well, we don't support the overfunding of the police anyway. But damn sure not going to continue to fund and stand by or condone the actions of any law enforcement agency that is taking part in these Gestapo tactics. And make no mistake, I don't care what your favorite local black Democrat elected mayor got to say. even the ones we like Mayor Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson don't have no fucking control over the Chicago police, and that's obvious. Same way that JB Pritzker has no control over the Illinois State Police, also obvious. And actually, I'm gonna get into this in just a couple of clicks here, but Illinois just passed a law compelling sensitive locations, sensitive venues like churches, like schools, like childcare centers to come up with ICE contingency plans. And I said, JB Pritzker, you're a real fucking pussy. Because now you're going to shift the burden of making sure that people don't get kidnapped to actual civilians and not the taxpayer law enforcement agency. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But I wanted to show y'all this video because I actually meant to pull more videos, but I smoke a lot of marijuana and I forget things. and it happens. Children of the corn, you might be able to understand what I'm saying now. Just actually, let me show y'all. I smoke too much marijuana. Let me prove it to y'all. Hold on. That's a cough. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to smoke cool. I'm smoking cool. Y'all not smoking cool. I'm smoking cool. I took a tiny puff. Well, cue up the video. So this is where we go. We're going to Phoenix. Okay, because ICE clearly on that bullshit from coast to coast, from east to west, north to south. And they are in Phoenix. Relax. Okay. Did you guys see the video of Congresswoman Grijalva getting pepper sprayed practically in the face? You know, them shooting pepper balls at her, directly at her, probably knowing who she was. And even if they didn't know who she was, they really didn't give a fuck who she was. She was too brown. She had the right complexion for the protection to not get shot by pepper balls, but even they shooting up whites too. But anyway, so what I am seeing again around the country are these amazing community response, these rapid response groups. The communities are tapped in. New Orleans, I want to acknowledge, big up, because the folks in and around New Orleans took the notice, the advance notice, and shut down shop. Like all of our Latino community members, places where day laborers would congregate, you can't find them nowhere because they in the house, as well they should be. All the businesses that cater to the migrant communities shut down, locked up. Nope, not giving ICE no bait out here to come scoop up people. So anyway, Phoenix, Arizona, this feisty sister. Oh, I love her. I am a fan. You know, I love a shit talking woman, especially shit talking to men. My favorite, amongst my favorite genres. I can't get enough of it. So this young lady is monitoring ICE, monitoring their activities, monitoring their movements. And she's doing so lawfully and legally from within her vehicle. Totally allowed to do that and run film. And she makes it clear that anyway, they try to reverse document her. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. My name is, spell it out. So anyway, let's take a look at this clip from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey guys, we have ICE behind the El Super. Take my picture. My name is Clarissa Vela. I'm in a 2016 Toyota fucking Prius. You stupid bitch. You know who I am. You guys already know who I am. The police know who I am. Reach out. Talk to your FBI guys. Talk to HSI. They know who I am. You don't need to take my picture. You don't need to. You have no fucking shame. You're fucking pathetic, dude. You're taking your own people. No tiene vergüenza. So you live here? I live in this motherfucking country. I'm a United States citizen, and I welcome them here. And I welcome them here. You don't support the U.S., that's great. Oh, I don't support the U.S. because I don't think that you should be dragging people away without due process. Are you fucking kidding me? You're fucking cowards. You're fucking cowards. You're taking parents away from fucking children. No, you're not. No, you're not. I watch you guys every day. I watched you guys at the immigration courthouse. You tell people to do it the right way, and then you take them while they're at court. We're watching you every day. I know these plates. I see them. You guys have been running on the same expired 2024 plates. Okay, that's cool. Oh my God, I'm so funny. I get paid to separate families. You're the exact type of person for this job because you have no fucking shame. You have no fucking shame. You're pathetic. You're fucking pathetic. You're pathetic. Shut the fuck up already, stupid bitch. Shut the fuck up already. We already know you have no shame. You're a terrible person. You are a terrible person. I'm not hateful. There's nothing hateful about what I'm doing. What you're doing is hateful. What you're doing is fucking hateful. Why are you covering your face? If you're not ashamed of what you're doing, then why are you covering your face? If you're not ashamed, why cover your face?
They cover their face because I don't know if they are ashamed, but I think that they understand that at minimum, there are social consequences already being felt by some of these deputized proud boys and girls, apparently. And, we love that. We love that. What's the word that the kid said in the interrogation? He said, "Do you know what doxed is? DOXXED." Do y'all know what that is? I've heard of this term. This is a newfangled term that the kids do, right? With varying results. So I wanted to say this. I wanted to big up to the whole Latino community because I've seen my brown folks get out here and give their own folks the business. Now, riddle me this, chat. I have seen numerous so-called ICE, Homeland Security, whatever. I've seen Bamas be recorded, these agents with very thick Spanish accents. and I'm wondering what's going on here. I thought they got rid of DEI, but apparently they did not get rid of DEI. So at the same time, I am wondering, well, no, I am appreciative that members of everybody's community is giving it to each other. Let me shout out to the chick in DC, Fifi's Inferno, the black DC police officers and so-called ICE agents. Fifi be giving them niggas the business. She be giving them niggas the business. And I'm telling you, all of them, give them the fucking business. But especially if they fall into your identity group, give them extra business. Shame them. Tell them that their grandmothers is deeply regretful that this part of their lineage is out on the earth doing this kind of foolery. And it is this kind of pushback that I just want folks to understand is happening. I don't know how much of this is getting put on mainstream media, Mike, because I don't consume cable news. I do consume my local news just because I like to know what's going on and stuff locally, and that's a crapshoot within itself. But even still, my perception is that the majority of Americans don't understand that there are regular people out here risking their freedom, taking actual time out of their day, away from their work, away from their families, away from things that they otherwise would be doing to make sure that members of their community are safe. And if they can't guarantee their safety, they can at least attempt to document what happened to them. Because the methods being undertaken by this administration, I mean, again, Fugitive Slave Act energy. This is 1850 energy. It's 1750 energy, beloved. It's like, and we have to respond accordingly. So long as our side is deciding to play within the rules for the time being, so long as everybody is behaving themselves for the time being, okay, these are the kind of actions. Again, they're not consequence free. But I appreciate seeing people, especially with more privilege, go out there and do this work. So good on all the folks. I want us to skip to daddle to Minneapolis because the Twin Cities area obviously is seeing a big increase in ICE activity, and the same thing St. Paul police, Minneapolis police, working hand in glove with ICE and immigration enforcement, which is, I mean, the police are a betrayal to the public anyway, particularly Black and brown communities. They are not a public safety organization. They are an occupation organization. They are to keep y'all Black and brown asses in place, right? So I don't think highly of the police to begin with, but for anybody that ever held any admiration or had any faith in American law enforcement that they were somehow going to provide order, please let all these examples of state sanctioned kidnappings and felonious acts and assaults and God knows what else, please let the police, your local police department, be an observer to that. Let that tell you exactly what kind of time the cops is on out here. The cops don't give a single shit because they too are Nazis. They too are Gestapo. They too are Klans people running around, deputized, uniformed, and funded by taxpayer money. But anyway, Minneapolis, because Trump is ratcheting up things, particularly against the Somali community. Big up to our Somali folks. Please staying strong out here. But some of the deportation flights are going through Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. And there was a action held at the Signature Airline hangar, if I have that correct. This clip is from More Perfect Union. And what I liked about this clip, what jumped out to me is that, you guys, in all of these struggles, I mean, we have well ascertained that there are more of us than them, right? And our particular knowledge-based expertise or life skill or whatever people have done in their professional or even in their side lives, you know what I'm saying? This is a collective that knows things, right? And I think we need to tap into all the things that people know so we can figure out how to best use everybody's talents to defeat the enemy. So this particular person that we're going to hear speak pays attention to flights coming and going and does the flight tracker thing. And they noticed something pretty unusual. So Will, let's go ahead and take a look at this More Perfect Union clip.
I was here yesterday recording video, and they were laying the shackles out on the icy tarmac. It was 15 degrees. Terrible.
No ice! No, no ice in USA! No ice!
A Signature Aviation truck will pull up and provide enough fuel to get them to their next stop, usually Omaha, before heading down to a big deportation hub, usually Alexandria, Louisiana. A convoy of vans will arrive, usually a full few of men, sometimes a minivan or SUV with women. They're unloaded, chained up, and inspected before being directed to hobble up the steps onto the aircraft, typically on an air truck provided by Signature Aviation, which strangely has had all of its branding stripped off of it. A coincidence, I'm sure. I'm Nick Benson. I work in commercial flight data analytics. I'm a very enthusiastic aviation geek. I love coming here to take pictures of airplanes, often with one or more of my kids at my side. This spring I noticed the regular Wednesday morning deportation flight wasn't showing up on the schedule. And since looking at flight schedules is my job, I started digging and I discovered two things. First, many aviation flights had begun operating with a special call sign. And second, most of the deportation fleet had been added to the FAA's privacy list, which hides them from trackers like FlightAware and FlightRadar 24. After noticing an inbound flight on a crowdsourced flight tracker, I'd go to one of my favorite spots, the top of the parking deck over there, and I'd watch an airplane operated by a charter airline like Global Crossing or Eastern Air Express, which are usually here to carry college athletic teams around, or Denver Air Connection, which does public flights out of MSP, pull into the ramp here at Signature Aviation right behind us. We're tucked behind Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. ICE agents would disembark from the airplane and unload bags of shackles from the cargo hold. Even from a distance, this was gut-wrenching. Seeing the chains that would soon be confining my neighbors, binding their hands together at their waist and then down between their ankles. Companies like Global Crossing, Eastern Air Express, Denver Air Connection, and Signature Air Aviation, as the number of flights balloon here, they're shamefully profiting off of this industry. shipping our neighbors down to mega hubs like Alexandria, Louisiana. This isn't someone else's problem. This isn't happening somewhere else. It's time for all of us here, regular people and bureaucrats alike, to start looking for peaceful, safe, legal, and creative ways to slow this until it stops. Thank you.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Unicorn Riot. Let me properly credit that clip. That was from Unicorn Riot covering that rally near the signature airport or airline hub at MSP International in Minneapolis. So I know that the folks in California, SoCal in particular, were able to get the Avella flights from departing, I think, out of one airport. I don't think it was LAX. It was one of the smaller regional, but a major airport nonetheless. And I know similar organizing is going on out here in Maryland to try to put the press on Governor Cantaloupe Head to get him to cancel the Avella contract that flies deportees out of Baltimore, Washington, Thurgood Marshall Airport. So, but there's a couple things. So my point is, like, y'all, I don't know Nick. I'm glad Nick is watching the skies. I'm glad Nick is paying attention to the flight trackers, because again, we have to have eyes literally on all corners of not only this administration, but the system as a whole. But the thing is, I know we actually have the folks with the skill set that can do this, right? I'm thinking of an example, right? I know one of y'all's teenage geniuses. I know one of y'all kids know how to make some dark web laptop, goddamn it. How much they charge? So I'm just saying, like, there are a myriad of skills that we can apply. And I can hear the comrades. That's why you get an organization. Okay, well, yeah, go get an organization, goddamn it. Take your wonderful skills. Please join an organization and let us strategize the best way that the enemy can be defeated. Because, gang, look at the opposition. Cunty Gnome, are we serious? JD Vance, what? Are these your opponents? I'm sorry. I think any of us, and I'm talking about matching wits here, but you know, hands also, if it were to come to that. I'm sorry. Gentlemen, which of you think y'all could not take JD Vance? Don't say nothing incriminating in the chat. I'm just putting out a hypothetical. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical here. You know what I'm saying? Cunty Gnome. I mean, I know she told the steel. Well, guess what? Guess what? Calm down. They knocking on niggas' doors. I'm trying to watch what I say, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if they come knock on my door, because I get what I tell you. I will leave the feds on red on the fucking porch. You got a warrant? Negatory, you just want to come threaten. I don't want to hear that shit. Plus, I don't give a fuck about Trump anyway. Y'all better go check you better go check on your local white boy with an absent father trying to compensate for his absenteeism. He done got little Colt a fucking AR-15 for his 17th birthday. That's them the niggas you need to be knocking on the doors. Don't be knocking on people's doors, especially black women's doors, for God's sakes. We are the least of the terrorists. Speaking of terrorists, let's talk about your local friendly elected Democrat. As I mentioned earlier, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker really almost broke his arm trying to pat himself on the back for this piece of legislation that recently got signed into Illinois state law. And it's in response to the Trump administration's federal surge into the Chicagoland area with Operation Midway Blitz, in which literally thousands of Chicagoans were stolen off the streets, held in ICE detention, primarily at Broadview, where they were caged like animals in inhumane, reprehensible conditions, many of them not granted due process, time with a lawyer, or even more importantly, access to clean food and water and the ability to bathe and or wash their hands. They were denied all these things. So J.B. Pritzker, in response, says, you know what? We are not going to allow people to be taken off the streets of Chicago. In fact, we are going to designate a number of areas that ICE cannot even be on the property, can't even be on site. And those include Illinois courthouses, those include schools, those include child care centers and hospitals. But I want you guys to pay attention in this package that we're about to listen to. Who is omitted out of this grand plan that the Pritzker administration and the Illinois legislature have come up with to try to address the issue of ICE being a scourge and terrorizing members of the Chicago community? But just notice who is not included in the plan. Well, let's take a look.
Violent incidents at courthouses, hospitals, and daycare centers, Governor Pritzker signed into law a sweeping bill that protects immigrants from what the governor calls unjust ICE enforcement. Illinois courthouses are off limits to ICE agents hoping to make an immigration arrest. Today, Governor J.B. Pritzker signed into law a bill that bars immigration enforcement inside or within 1,000 feet of a courthouse building.
The idea that the Trump administration wants to prevent people from attending court, doing their civic duty, and protecting public safety just boggles the mind.
Since Operation Midway Blitz began in September, Governor Pritzker says only 2.6% of the people arrested by ICE in the Chicago area were considered high public safety risk by the federal government. Agents have been showing up at places of employment, including a daycare center. Churches, schools, college campuses, and hospitals have been targets as well.
Before the bill was signed into law, ICE would just tell a hospital, you don't have the authority to tell us anything. Now you do.
Illinois' new law requires hospitals, public universities, and community colleges and daycare facilities to develop plans and procedures in case federal immigration agents show up at their establishments.
With daycare centers, it's part of the licensing process. With the hospitals, it's also part of the licensing process.
The Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights and other groups worked with Democratic state leaders to write the legislation. The bill also allows people subject to civil arrest the ability to sue law enforcement officers who violate the Constitution.
No one, and I mean no one, is above the law.
But Republicans in the Trump administration argue Governor Pritzker is acting above the law. In a statement, Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin writes in part, quote, "He must be unfamiliar with the U.S. Constitution. By signing this law, Pritzker violated the Supremacy Clause." The governor says he's not worried if his bill is leached.
No doubt they have the ability to go to court about it, but I believe this is not just a good law, but a great law.
The courthouse element of the bill goes into effect today. Entities like daycare centers and hospitals have been given various deadlines between January and March to submit their ICE organizational plans.
Hospitals and daycare centers have to submit to the state. Now, part of their regulatory, what did they say? Now it's part of the regulation procedures for hospitals and daycare centers. Now they have to submit their ICE plan, what their contingency plan is should ICE arrive on the scene and do illegal raids. Did you hear the police mention in any of this shit? Did you hear mention of local sheriff's departments or local PDs? Like what is the role of the cops here? Okay. If the governor and all the elected officials are admitting that residents of the state are being subjected to illegal actions by the federal government, and the response by this elected Democrat and all these elected Democrats is to now make new regulations for the civilians, for the hospital, for the daycare provider. Now you have to come up with a plan, right? Not J.B. Pritzker dispatch, I don't know, his armed group of thugs in the form of the Illinois State Police, or directing local police departments not only to not participate, but to actively, they should discourage, they should thwart Local police should be intervening when they see ICE activities. They should be asking of the agents, where is your warrant? They need to be the ones trying to make sure that these masked thugs, many of them unidentified, as far as I'm concerned, they unfucking accredited. I can only assume that you haven't gotten a badge, so-called ICE agent, because you're not a fucking ICE agent. They only give the badges to the motherfuckers that have sworn the oath and completed the training and shit, right? These motherfuckers is out here badgeless because they not actual agents. They just any fucking body. Is JB Pritzker trying to get to the bottom of this? Is there some sort of law in Illinois compelling these masked agents to identify? They must identify if they are going to do actions within the state. I understand the whole federal supremacy clause, whatever that bitch in Homeland Security talking about. Okay, whatevs. She can waive her version of the Constitution, I guess, and everybody else can quickly point her to amendments 4, 5, and 6 of the Bill of Rights. Like, hey, bitch, don't selectively point towards the Constitution if you are directing your agency and your agents to ignore large swaths of it. I can't even deal with the hypocrisy and the contradictions of this particular administration. All of them, really, but the Trump administration definitely takes it to new heights. But this is the ineffectiveness in the fake pretend action that comes from Democrats that I know I could never go back. I could never go back. These niggas ain't about it. Like, JB Pritzker wields a big bully pit as the governor. But again, these Democrats are proving to us that they are powerless and or they are fully content with all elements of the law enforcement apparatus at the federal, local, and state level to all just run roughshod over everybody, U.S. citizens included. That's why these people are never going to save us. They should ever be considered as any sort of real resistance. I always have to chuckle when I hear Gavin Newsom, Jasmine Crockett, the resistance. Resist what? What? Show me. Just because they oppose and they tweet at Trump in all caps sometimes, like, that does not a resistance make, in my humble opinion. So what the fuck are we really talking about here, y'all? Well, what is made crystal clear in the passage of this Illinois law, again, is that we have to save our fucking selves. Okay. Your mayor's not going to save you. Your Democratic elected governor's not going to save you. The police are absolutely not going to save you. In fact, the police are going to turn you over to the fucking Gestapo because they are one and the same. So everything that communities are doing right now to organize, to rally, to create mutual aid, to escort, to document and track, to take photos and do facial recognitions of the enemies. Like, all of these are such valuable tools and valuable things that help to keep people safe in the immediacy. And in my opinion, all of this documentation, it will eventually prove valuable, but it's not going to come in the form of prosecutions. Like, it's so cute when I see people on social media and they're like, and you guys wait until all these fuckers go to jail and you guys are going to be prosecuted. I mean, it'd be cool. I'm sorry. I lived through Iraq, Afghanistan. I saw Dick Cheney live to be an old fucker. Okay. George W. Bush walking around this bitch free as a fucking kite. Okay. I know that there is not any real accountability coming for these war criminals, right? In these human rights violators within the Trump administration, in addition. So if we're going to keep ourselves safe, we have to do it in the ways that people are doing it. And we're going to have to even get more creative. And we're going to have to pull people's skill sets kind of out of the closet a little bit. You understand? And we're going to have to take the advice from the elders to make sure that there is above ground work and underground work. And if you got underground work skills, maybe you don't have social media. Maybe or you be Clark Kent on social media, but with your underground skills, you be, for real Superman. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, my fire fam, a lot of us are a little older. We skew a little older. we don't have to tell on ourselves, okay? Like, I'd be so disappointed. I never want to see Gen X tell on themselves. I'm like, come on, Gen X, goddamn. You was almost there. You would have got away with it too. Wouldn't have put them meddling kids. No, you would have got away with it if you would have ran your goddamn mouth all over internet, all over social media. So anyway, if you do underground work, keep that shit underground. We don't post about it. No captions, none of that shit. Keep that shit to yourself and just do your work. Keep your head down. And we'll see it when we see it. Let me take a quick break here. Power to the people. I appreciate y'all coming on in here. Ooh, speaking of cops ain't shit. Will, would you mind presenting to the folk them? If you go in our selection of links, wherever them fuck the links are, under the about page on YouTube, Twitch, I'm not sure if it's over there. If Twitch, I'm sorry. If the merch link isn't over there, come on over to YouTube and find that merch link. Because I need y'all to be on this shit. I need y'all to be on it, okay? It's the holidays. We are closing out 2025. We're going into 2026. ICE is cops. Cops is ICE. They all the SS. And we know what, y'all? Cops ain't shit. And I need y'all to show y'all support for Cops Ain't Shit as a movement, as a record label, as a marketing firm. Cops ain't shit, cops ain't shit, cops ain't shit. We got all your Cops Ain't Shit merch. And because you guys know how I roll, right? Trust me, I wish I was way more capitalist minded than I am. I'm not. I do the capitalisms very badly because I be thinking about people. You understand? So anyway, so we're going to throw up some more styles, but let me tell you what we got. Okay, first of all, we got Cops Ain't Shit masks. I want you guys to be intentional when you wear that. Don't wear that to court. Where else don't I wear it once you wearing your Cops Ain't Shit mask? But you do wear it to the action. But also do have another mask on hand because that Cops Ain't Shit mask is going to be very distinctive to all the facial recognition cameras. But at the same time, it's going to cover your face, and they're going to be able to read that shit clear as day. So yeah, go ahead, y'all go ahead and rock that one towards the action. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Then we got the Cops Ain't Shit coffee mugs, but I'm most proud of the Cops Ain't Shit hoodies. Okay, now again, we're going to offer some more styles. But here's what we have available. Okay. Obviously, we have the hoodies, like the regular BIDWKB hoodies, but these joints have Cops Ain't Shit on them. They are $30. I was looking around and I saw that hoodies go for way more than $30. So what you should do, I mean, it's cool. If you down to spend 50 on a hoodie, that's cool. But why don't you spend 60 and get 2 hoodies? Ooh, look at the mathematics. look at my Pyga theorem coming together. You buy 2 for 60. Wham. Sizes up to 4X. We also got the cropped hoodies. Because even though my belly is further out than it used to be, I still think of myself as a belly shirt girl. So I still do. You know what I'm saying? And to be clear, I don't give a fuck what kind of belly you got, a flat or a pot. Rock that jump, okay? Shout out to all my body paws, folks. Cropped hoodies, $32.99. Good deals. So we got them all kinds of colors. Again, sizes up to 4X. More styles will be offered, but I want you guys to do something nice for yourself. and for the cop hater in your family, because I'm sure you have at least one. Or if your family is full of cop lovers, of course, that means you have to get this shit and rock it at the holidays. I'm trying to figure out which one of y'all got cops in the family and would rock this shit at your cop family crib. And they would just be like, God damn it, Taylor. Why do you have to come in every year with this shit? 3 years ago, it was Black Lives Matter. Now, cops ain't shit. Dad is going to freak. so yeah, go push some buttons. Go get your Cops Ain't Shit merch before fucking Spotify. I mean, not Spotify, Shopify. Take this shit down. I don't think they'll take it down, but who the fuck knows? We live in fraught times. Freedom of speech no longer a free commodity. There are consequences. Well, here's my thing. You know, as a semi-wise man once said, you know, I want to be on the right side of the barricades, and I think an item such as this perhaps lets all know what side of the barricades you find yourself upon. Because cops ain't shit, ICE ain't shit, feds ain't shit, your local PD ain't shit. All these niggas ain't shit. Anyway, I want to move it along. Thank you, Will. Our next story is kind of a cops ain't shit story. This is more like a everybody ain't shit, and by everybody I mean your local elected officials, I mean corporate America, and I mean the cops. So there is this video. Now this video is from More Perfect Union. Shout out to all the independent media outlets out there who do tremendous work and disseminate stories that legacy outlets definitely would not. But this story comes to us from Port Washington, Wisconsin, and we're going to pick up at a hearing pertaining to the construction of data centers in this part of the state. And regardless of where you are, chances are the data center debate is coming to a community near you. This rush to pour billions of dollars into AI infrastructure in the form of these gargantuan data centers that not only use obscene amounts of electricity and water, but are already being felt in the pockets of everyday consumers. Yours fucking truly. I'm so mad. I'm still upset that Pepco playing games out here. Jeff Bezos building the data centers in Northern Virginia. And everybody that's on the grid in this region is paying for the fucking data centers. I said, bitch, why? Have y'all seen Bezos's yacht? Why is my bill going up? Right? So me, along with millions of you, are feeling the anguish about these data centers because it seems as though local municipalities are just really falling over themselves to sign over huge tracts of land with tremendous burden upon the local resources, literally drinking water. It's just fucking crazy. And a lot of this shit is being done in dark, is being done in secret. So anyway, at this community meeting, this elected meeting, this lady's name is Caroline Jeune. French. I don't know if she's French, but Jeune Fille. She had some questions for her local elected body. She's like, the fuck? Catherine. I think her name's Catherine. Did I say Caroline? I meant to say Catherine. Catherine's like, what the fuck? What's going on? And they put the police on this lady. Okay. Now, when they are sicking cops on regular white women, y'all, because the initial woman speaking is not going to be the only one taken by police, and it's all white on white violence, but none of it is deserved. It's all over the top relative to the scenario and relative to, I guess, the amount of guff that these white women was giving the cops back in return. But it's a real display. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Most leaders would have tabled the issue after receiving public input and providing sufficient notice. But you did nothing, and you laughed about it. Shame! No, stop it. Don't touch me. Leave her alone. Don't touch me. Stop touching her. Don't touch me. Why are you approaching me? Back up.
This is fucked up. You know that, right? You're wrong for this shit.
Please.
No! No! Stop. This is fucking... Get off of me!
Not like that.
We got you. We got you. Everybody's gonna see
You guys are fucking insane. What are you doing?
Everybody.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone. You guys are a joke. Under what cause? Under what cause are you doing this to her?
Right. What is this for?
What is her charge?
You guys
Disorderly
escalated.
conduct.
No.
You're the escalator officer.
You escalated.
No, we're not. I asked her to stop. Actually, I wanted to ask her to stop.
What are you?
What did he do? Oh my God, what did she do? Can you tell me what she did wrong?
Under arrest.
Why? What?
She's under arrest.
Why?
For what? No.
Yeah, for what?
What is she
Why?
under arrest
Yeah,
for?
for
What's her name?
What crime?
Name and badge number. Name and badge number. I do not consent
Oh, what are they
for you
taking?
touching me. I do not consent. Stop you touching us.
Yes.
I do not
A lot
consent.
of people have been watching this.
What is your name and badge number?
Yeah, on the report.
No, you have to tell me your name and badge number.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. You do.
You do. It's the
You need to
law.
tell us it's the
What's
law.
the badge number, sir?
What is the badge number?
What is it? We need the badge number.
Nazis.
Saying silent.
Fuck.
I really wonder what happened.
Oh, why are you taking her?
That's not how.
You want to hold this hand?
You need to give us your name and badge.
Who's the supervisor?
We're the supervisors.
Oh, that's right. Why are you touching her so rough like that?
Yeah, troubling scenes there from a public comment event pertaining to, I believe, the construction of these data centers. But that is it. Like, that's the consequence for dissent. That's the consequence for even the smallest bit of civil disobedience. I don't know if this lady spoke over her time or not, but regardless, certainly not a reason to put hands on her and then place her into custody and arrest her. And the cops obviously could not articulate what she was being charged with. What was she being charged with? What was the charge? I guess they're going to make something up on the way to the station, standard operating procedure. They'll come up with a charge, by the time they hit that left on Main Street. Okay, we got it. Okay, we're going to charge her with, yes. There is all kinds of reasons that people whoever had any sort of faith and belief in America are having that faith shaken from them, right? So I'm cynical. I'm sorry, I stopped believing in America. It's when I was a child, I subscribed to childish things. But it's kind of interesting. Like, I kind of feel like as I'm watching these white folks aghast at what is happening to their comrade, right? They can't understand what she's being arrested for. They can't understand why the cop is not identifying himself. He's telling them, I don't have to. And they're like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And it's almost like watching kids heartbreak as you explain to them that there is no Santa Claus, right? All of these wonderful freedoms and rights and this democracy and this, glowing, flowery constitution that America likes to beat its chest over. It's a pipe dream, okay? It's a farce. It's an illusion. And white folks of a certain class, certain, presentation or whatever, they have been able to live in the illusion, to maintain the illusion far longer than anybody else, right? For Black and Indigenous people, it was never an illusion. It was always a nightmare. Like, if you are finding yourself checking multiple boxes of certain identities, you understand that America has never been a place of milk and honey. It has always been a place of extraction and abuse, right? But to see so-called regular mainstream white folks come to the understanding that now that nightmare extends to them, and not only to them, to their kids, to their grandkids. Not only will your grandchildren or children be jumped upon by jackbooted thugs simply for speaking their minds, your elected officials, without your consent, right, without your approval, are going to erect a giant monstrosity of a building, not in an industrial area, possibly taking up quality farmland or otherwise what could be residential area, or here's thinking crazy, maybe an area that just could be left alone that nobody was going to build anything on, right? No, they're seeing that being willfully stolen from them by the same powers and the same entities that have stolen health and labor and land and opportunity from Black and brown communities this entire time. So watching so-called regular, I say regular, but you all understand what I'm saying. Watching regular white folks kind of wake up from this is eye-opening. Though I wonder to what extent are they ready to rumble? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You can't sleep on white folks. And that comes in all different directions. Like, just as a general rule, don't you dare put anything past white folks. So I'm trying, like, I like to try to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I don't know. Maybe they'll come around and do something. I think it might be too late though. That's what Black people, that's been part of our problem. We have this misplaced this misplaced optimism that, oh, no, these generation of white folks, no, they get it. No, they understand. They've seen, they've sat next to, they've experienced, no, these ones get it. That's what Black people been trying to tell ourselves for generation after generation. I don't know. Is it a folly? Don't know. Where do I want to go here next? Oh, so data centers. So because I'm all freaked out, and again, shout out to Black Alliance for Peace. Shout out to, I believe it was Paca out there making sure that I don't know what to call it. Is it a moratorium? So they were talking about building data centers here in Prince George's County. There's a old mall, Landover Mall site that has been vacant. It's like 20 acres or whatever it is, or maybe more than that. It's been vacant for a while. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so they were talking about putting up a data center there, and niggas said, nope. Not today, Satan. No, you won't. And so Black Alliance for Peace, PACA, and them was out there to urge the county council to put a moratorium or some shit. I mean, it's something legit. So anyway, data centers there's a temporary forestalling, I suppose. Hopefully we can ban it permanently. But anyway. But this is why this next story I'm about to show y'all, coming out of Atlanta, you don't want this shit. Okay? And unrelated, tangentially, on TikTok, maybe they're on YouTube too. Go follow American Underground, because they talk about the radical days of the 1970s, and I did not know that every fucking week, every week, niggas blowing shit up every fucking week in the 70s. Shit's crazy. And I said, son, in a fictitious, speculative, for entertainment purposes only. Yo, what if the existing data centers, I'm just saying, what if, for entertainment purposes only, maybe fictitiously, speculatively, for entertainment purposes only. Anyway, but y'all are gonna feel my feelings, because I know you do already. But I heard this story. This is out of Atlanta. I don't appreciate the swimming pool visuals that they're about to give you. It's like, oh, we've got Jeff out there. Jeff is at the pool. Jeff. Oh, look at all that water in that pool, Jeff. Is that how much water the data center will use? Well, that's right, Karen. We're out here at the Metropolitan. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Y'all could have spared me all the local TV news. little low budget theatrics there. Nigga, get to the fucking story. So anyway, yeah, Will, just go ahead and run this shit, because I'm almost tempted to tell you to start the shit in like 20 seconds in. But no, if I had to be annoyed by the local news, y'all got to be annoyed by the local news too. So we'll go ahead and run that, please, and thank you.
At 5, massive new data centers proposed for Metro Atlanta expect to use millions of gallons of water per day.
In fact, some of those data centers that power the internet and now AI are planning to use more water than entire Georgia towns. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray live now at Piedmont Park. And Justin, you've been looking into what that means for the communities around these data centers.
Well, George, you can see the water still in the pool at one of the larger outdoor pools in the metro area, Piedmont Park Pool. Let's go to News Drone 2. You know, I checked with management here at the park. They tell me 165,000 gallons is what it takes to fill this pool. Well, these hyperscale data centers we're talking about, they can use that much water in less than an hour.
If you look up the hill to the left.
Neighbors tried to show me on the ground, but you can see it better from News Chopper 2. The proposed Project Sale data center in Coweta County would be bigger than all the terminals at Hartsfield-Jackson combined.
It's going to put pressure on the county water supply. There's no doubt about it.
Water might not be the first thing you think of when you look at big, hyperscale data centers like this Google facility in Douglas County. But most data centers rely on lots of water to cool the systems.
Nothing uses water or energy the way that data centers do.
Chris Manganello from the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper has been trying to get hard numbers to answer a pretty basic question.
How will the operations of data centers, affect a community's water supply?
Take that Douglas County Google site. We filed open records requests for the agreement between Google and the county. All references to water use specifics, to water requirements throughout the document are blacked out, redacted, secret. Same for a Microsoft data center. The numbers for water use, hidden. Our open records request even turned up an NDA, non-disclosure agreement with Microsoft, and this agreement even has a company name redacted.
In an absence of information, we're left with more questions than answers.
What we do have in Georgia that most states don't are proposed water usage numbers provided as part of development plans. And the largest data centers are proposing using 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, even 6 million gallons of water a day.
This water tower in Noonan holds about 1 million gallons of water. Project Sale estimates it will use 6 of these, 6 million gallons every single day.
So you look at the Hyundai plant down near Savannah, they use about 2 million gallons of water a day.
Dan DiOrio is with the industry group that represents data centers.
They are responsible and efficient water users.
He says those proposed water numbers don't tell the full story, that much of the water brought in each day is returned to the water system. Let's go back again to that Douglas County Center. Google says it built special systems to be able to use 100% recycled water there.
The average data center is going to use less water than the average golf course.
But massive projects like Project Sale aren't the data center, and Metro Atlanta's water is relying on a Chattahoochee River prone to drought.
If there is a shortage of water, who gets priority?
Why not be more transparent as an industry with how that water usage is occurring?
The data center industry, just like any other industry, has to consider confidentiality in terms of protecting proprietary and competitive information.
Data centers have provided local governments details on their water needs, that blacked out info, so water authorities can plan and build more infrastructure.
We are fully committed to paying our full cost of service, both for electricity and water.
While data center operators pledge costs will not be passed on to you, neighbors remain unconvinced water bills won't go up.
There will come a reckoning, and we don't want to see that happen.
And the data center industry points to this study the state of Virginia did. Virginia and Georgia really the top 2 states for these data centers. It found that the average data center uses less water than the average large office building, about 7 million gallons. But these hyperscale data centers we are talking are coming to Georgia. They can use that much, George and Karen, in less than a day.
Well, Justin, I think the question people have at home, does this mean that my water bill is going to go up?
And that is the big question. The data center industry is adamant that it will not, that they will cover all the costs of additional infrastructure. But with all these redacted documents, these NDAs, essentially are taking their word for it.
That redacted document said it all. That pool behind you, a great visual for us.
No, it was not a great visual. But to your point, Karen, the redacted documents do say it all, right? So if your local elected officials are relying on the words, the promise, the guarantee of a Microsoft or a Google, but these same giant corporations don't want to put in writing what their estimated water usage is going to be, then you have to assume that they are lying when they say that they are going to be able or intend to cover all the expenses or the extra cost for water and power usage. Well, if they were, then nothing would be redacted. It would be a very transparent process. But the fact of the matter is, these corporations withhold that information because what they know that they are going to use and take away from the community is way higher than they are even willing to even put on paper. And they're afraid to put it on paper because maybe they're concerned about future litigation. I'm not even sure, but it's amazing to me, like everybody's local municipality is just down to sell them out, right? And this is across kind of almost socioeconomic lines. Like I'm observing this. I'm seeing white folks come out. I'm seeing Latinos come out. I'm seeing black folks come out and against data centers. Like the whole goddamn country is opposed to these fucking data centers, except for, I guess, the data center lobby. And circling back to this Atlanta centered piece, the Chattahoochee River is subject to drought, is subject to low flow. Like what? And this and the conversations continue. Like that's the shit that really boggles my mind. Like to makes me confirm the fact that we are living in the worst simulation, like the level 7 of dystopia. Like if the data centers are relying on the Chattahoochee for their water needs, and the Chattahoochee is subject to drought, why is this? Doesn't that end the conversation? Shouldn't that end the conversation? Oh, well, the Chattahoochee is not going to be able to sustain the millions of people that rely on it for its drinking water and these data centers. So Google and Microsoft, Amazon, y'all gonna have to pivot and do something the fuck else. That doesn't even come up. Just the idea of these corporations being told no and having to pivot and having to do another thing doesn't even come up until the people come and bring it up. And we've seen different places across the country where communities have come together and stopped, for the short term at least, the immediate construction of some data centers. But we see the push is onward. And the priority is literally the data and its building over the life and survival of the residents that pay the taxes, that provide the infrastructure. By the way, tap into Virginia, Northern Virginia. I want to say Loudoun County and Prince William County in particular. Okay. People are grumpy. They are very put out about the addition of these data centers. These folks, I want to say maybe it's Prince William County, but they have organized and rallied and kept the board of estimates or the board of supervisors, whoever is the governing authority over who gets greenlit for data centers and who doesn't. Some of these meetings, they have lasted into the wee hours, okay, because the community is so upset about the addition of these data centers. But I really want those who have that level of investigative journalistic capacity, a ProPublica or some fucking body, like all of these local supervisory boards or county councils or whatever the local the elected authority over zoning or whatever it is that is greenlighting these data centers, these people have got to be getting paid. Okay. Like the bribes have got to be, I would imagine, fairly obvious, right? Because which of your elected officials is signing a non-disclosure agreement with, let's say, Google, to not tell the public, to not tell their constituents the details of a proposed data center that is absolutely going to impact people's ability to receive and consume drinking water and affordable power? Like there's somebody whose name was on a ballot that is authorizing all of this, right? And if an ambitious person, someone with more ambition than myself, I got the ideas. I'm the idea lady, okay? The action, I dispatched my action niggas. I'm the fucking vision. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it like 27 January. But anyway, there's bribery involved. There's fuckery afoot. There's money changing hands. Oh, Who did Elon Musk, whose children's private school education did Elon Musk have to pay for to get that fucking Colossus Gronk monstrosity built in Memphis? And he's building a second one. Like, this shit ain't gonna be hard to find. These people are corrupt, they're on the dole, and that's not anything new. But I think here, where we are in social media in the 21st century, I think we have the advantage of exposure far and wide, social humiliation. Okay, find out what these people's price was. Find out who sold out your community, who sold out generations of your well, I won't say clean nor safe, but cleaner and safer drinking water than it was before the fucking data center got to town. Who sold that out? Tell everybody their name. Tell them what they took. Tell them what kind of car. I know who. Here's the easy way. Check their driveways around the holidays. Spouses are going to get new cars off of this shit. Sorry, my bra was itchy. Anyway, hold on. Let me move along. I'm almost about to put y'all out of here. I'm about to let y'all turn y'all loose. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Can we shout out real quick? Noli D. She says she loved you.
Magnolia. Bienvenue. Thank you, Noli D. Thank you, Noli D. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Shout out to all of our mods. Big up to Court. Shout out to my son, Tyler. What's up to Latif? Who else we got in here? Steady mobbing or steady modding. Thank you all. I appreciate it. So actually, I wanted to leave us with some palate cleansers. I have a handful of them. So the first one is a good feel-good one. This is actually from last week, but because we see, honestly, like so few scenes of true joy coming out of Gaza, this is why I wanted to play y'all this clip, because the Palestinian soccer team, the football team, did real good. I think they whooped some ass. I think it was the Arab Cup, and I don't follow soccer. I'm sorry, football. So I don't know what's good and what's bad, but I think well, judging by the reaction, y'all, it was very clearly good. So I just wanted to show y'all some scenes of joy from our Palestinian brothers and sisters who, again, are still experiencing a genocide. Everybody needs to eliminate the word ceasefire out of their vocabulary, because at least as it pertains to this situation, because it is that there's not one in effect, and people are still being slaughtered in the most reprehensible and just awful ways. So when these folks can find any reason to smile and rejoice, I want you to know that you can't break strong people's spirit. You really can't. So anyway, Will, let's go ahead and run that first clip. Oh, Commanders fans, you're never going to get a chance to do that. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Oh, but no, wasn't that a good scene? I know, very brief, very short, but shout out to the Palestinian Football Club, beating their feet, as it were, out here on the pitch, on the soccer pitch. Open Google Docs. So my other palate cleanser has to do with a conversation that has been percolating around TikTok ever since a battle. I won't say a battle, but long story short, because it's not really my business. I'm minding other folks' business, but there was some diaspora wars taking place on TikTok. Maybe wars is overstating it, amongst Asian TikTok. Okay. So the long and the short of it is there was a half Asian, half white girl named Wasian. That's not her name, but I didn't even know that. I'd heard of Blasian. I was familiar with Blasian. I never even, the concept of Wasian as a word never even entered my vocabulary. Wasian. Okay, well, it makes sense. White and Asian, Wasian, not my word. Okay, that's the people's word, the people them word. So okay, so the Wasian chick is in H Mart, and I think she made a post about side eyeing white folks when they come into H Mart. For y'all that don't know H Mart is an Asian food store. I actually looked up where some H Marts were around here. There's a handful around here, one on Georgia Avenue and a couple in Northern Virginia. But apparently, the international food and the Asian food stores is where it's at. It's where all the cool kids go. So there were some conversations amongst the Asian diaspora, kind of breaking down and illuminating some corners of, I don't know, Asian people business. So, how, the Japanese, everybody side eyes the Japanese because they were the big imperial colonizers. But I guess China think it shit don't stink, and Korea's like, look at our skin, son. What, you can't fuck with us? So I don't know. Like, I won't even delve into the specifics of the Asian diaspora, but this one gentleman posted a video that caught my attention. Because remember, some weeks ago, I had asked you guys, I said, y'all, for non-blacks, right? What do y'all call y'all sellouts, right? I'm like, it can't just be coconut. It can't just be banana. Like, that's too nice. Y'all got to have a better name. Here come the Asian bro with the name. Have y'all heard of the term Uncle Tam? I said, yes. I said, yes. This is the peak. Okay. This is the peak into the corners that I wanted to hear. This is the carrying on I'm here for. Oh, yes, black folks, we will call these sellout ass motherfuckers coons and Uncle Toms. And here come my Asian brothers and sisters with Uncle Tams. Let's listen to what the gentleman has to say.
See, here's the thing about Asians fighting Asians on TikTok. This usually we would keep in the house, but now it's all over Black TikTok, and we got to talk about it. Now, because of Black TikTok, you guys are all realizing that we are all not the same. There are Asians that grew up with other Asians that grew up with other minorities, / Asians, browns, black, etc. And there are Asians who grew up around majority whites where they were the only ones. Sneak and sublimate in order to survive. These are the Asians that you're seeing coming after this Asian H Mart. They're going, hey, stop. Make sure they feel comfortable. We call that the Uncle Tams of our society. Okay? Each society has one, each race has one, each ethnicity has one. They're the village idiot. Ding, 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 ding. Watch out for your own.
Yes. Call it out. So this is, that is one aspect of the conversation. And then I've seen it sort of branch off into more specifically confronting anti-blackness within non-black and non-white communities, right? And for those that he was referring to, the Uncle Tams, those that center white folks, center whiteness, center white culture, do what they can to be closer and proximate to whites, center white comfort, oh, we got to do what we can to make sure that white people, oh, do you feel comfortable? You want to come to the cookout? But because other cultures, I'd say specifically Asian and Latino cultures, are not as well known across the board, meaning the sort of intricacies. Because I feel like black folks our sort of intracultural things, like they've kind of been out there a lot longer, right? Like black people have been calling sellout niggas coons 100 years. I don't know, a very, very long time, right? So these intra-racial conflicts, which usually break down along class, right? But we've seen these disagreements play out very publicly in the black community for several generations, right? I mean, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were not welcomed, celebrated, revered upon their deaths by the black community, right? So just to be clear on that. So I'm glad that these conversations that are happening on TikTok amongst Asians is sort of allowing the rest of us to sort of not, and it's not even to be messy or get into their business. It's just that, you know, many times we have been outsiders observing other folks' cultures, other folks, the way they move, but not really having a whole lot of context or understanding as to why that is or what any of that is about. But I'm here for people of color pushing the conversation in terms of confronting anti-blackness in their spaces. Now that clip wasn't necessarily that, but I'm telling you, it's happening. So that's good. Thank you guys. I'm glad everybody's doing that. Everybody realizes that, oh, anybody can get the nigga treatment out here at any point in time. So no, nobody's special. Nobody's a model anything. We are all variations of niggas to white folks. Okay, the sand niggas, there is rice niggas, there's regular niggas. Like, I mean, we're all just very different variations of niggas to white folks. So everybody, nobody's more special. But actually, somebody keeps getting bit off of. So maybe somebody is more special. Maybe somebody is more special, but we can hash that out at another time. Another way that I'm seeing anti-blackness be confronted in these social media streets is having to do with the education of Latinos about the role that the transatlantic slave trade absolutely played in Latin America and beyond Brazil, right? Mexico. My sister's about to call it Nueva España. Nueva España. What held slaves? There was slaves. Enslaved people were transported by the Spanish to the New World, now known as Mexico. And guess what? The Africans brought a lot of their foods over that, if you did not know the historic culture stuff of these foods, you just may think, oh, well, that's Latin food, that's Latino food. A lot of stuff comes from Africa, and one of them is agua de Jamaica. Oh Jesus, I'm so sorry. Jamaican water. My accent's terrible. But this lady I just started following on TikTok, she's posted a lot of videos giving this is kind of what Jean-Viet was doing, some sort of sociological, no, what was it, anthropological cuisine history about how the origin of some dishes that are thought to been Latin or Latino are actually African in origin. So this one is agua de Jamaica. Oh Jesus, I'm so sorry. We'll go ahead and run the video, please. Thank you.
Mexican agua de Jamaica. Did you know that Mexican agua de Jamaica is actually West African? Well, first let's talk about why it's called agua de Jamaica. In Jamaica, there is a drink called sorrel, and Mexican people love this drink, but they call it agua de Jamaica, which means water from Jamaica. And that sorrel comes from West Africa because of slavery. And Mexico also had slavery. People from West Africa were brought to modern day Mexico, or Nueva España at the time, during the colonial period. And so a lot of this food culture, water, a lot of these cultures were brought to Mexico, and they were brought to Mexico through obviously Jamaica, but also West African people who knew about these plants, and they created aguas. Same thing with horchata, same thing with tamarindo. They all come from West Africa and West African drinks. But yes, Agua de Jamaica is actually West African. It is called sorrel.
So a couple years ago, when I was in Chicago for my birthday, went to a Mexican heritage festival called Fiesta del Sol, and I was drinking horchata. And even locally around here, there's a lot of mi gente in my community, so they sell tamarindo, and I drink tamarindo. But after I had attended the Fiesta del Sol, I had enjoyed I had enjoyed my time with my Mexican homies so much. I started to wonder, am I Mexican? Like I might be Mexican because I could not get enough of the Chicago Mexican food. Again, emphasis on Chicago. Again, I don't know what's going on with my gente from around here. They come from the sad pueblos, but from Chicago, I don't know what part of Mexico they come from, but they shit is slapping. That's like the best fucking Mexican food. Anyway, but I'm like enjoying all of this so much, and I'm wondering openly, I'm like, am I Mexican? But now I'm realizing, no, I'm not Mexican. Mexicans are African. There we go. This is why I'm feeling some overlap here. Like I'm digging a lot of this, a lot of la comida, and I'm horchata. Woo! Yes, sir. I'm loving so much of the Mexican food. I'm wondering, am I Mexican? But no, it all makes sense. Mexicans are African. The more you know. All right, gang. hope you learned something on tonight. Do me a favor. You want to run a support, you can do that. The cash platforms are BIDWKB. That's us on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Patreon. But Will, if you could please let the people know, remind the people them. Okay, this is our. See, I don't want to say statement here because again, I'm not a capitalist. I'm not great at this. I'm not great at this, but I feel as though cops ain't shit. I feel like it touches a lot of y'all on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you hear the phrase, you feel that arrhythmia in your heartbeat, and you start to feel your adrenaline start to pump, and you'd say, God, these cops ain't fucking shit. You see the cops fucking with the homies on the block. You say these cops ain't shit. You getting pulled over. You say these cops ain't shit. You see a video on social media of the harassment, of the brutality. These cops ain't shit. Okay? Well, take that and apply it to the link in the merch. I got everything priced reasonable. I do not listen, y'all, on the Shopify, on the Printify shit on the back end. They're trying to tell you how to make money, obviously, but they were like, yeah, you should do like a 40% markup, or 40% markup. The 40% markup on my hoodie, how much would the 40% markup would have been? Like 40 some dollars? It would have been, let me put it to you this way. I don't price shit at a price I wouldn't buy it at. Okay. Like I'd have been like $45. And this is going to show you this how I know I'm hitting all my middle-aged auntie metrics. I'm bucking at 45 to 45. So yeah. So I got the shit price right, kids. I know that 15th check is creeping on up. Just drop it in the cart. Come back to it. Matter of fact, get two. I'm sorry, my Baltimore came out a little bit. Get dos. Buy los dos. You know what I mean? So anyway, cops ain't shit on your mugs, on your face mask, on your hoodies, on your crop sweatshirts. We got it all for you. I want to see bellies out. Cops ain't shit. I love the belly. I'll tell y'all this real quick. I'm gonna turn y'all loose. I years ago was at a live broadcast, one of the terrible radio stations I worked at. And it was, for a health walk, the AIDS walk, cancer walk. I don't fucking know. Niggas was walking. I don't know what they was doing. So I'm out there doing the live broadcast. And this lady comes up to me, and it's like her and a couple other women. I'm young. I'm a young 22, probably young kid. So this lady comes up, oh, hey, Kim, hey. And then I said, oh my God, are you pregnant? And I touch her belly. This lady was not pregnant. Well, you can take it down. This lady was not pregnant. Okay. That was an early adulthood life lesson learned. Do not assume every round belly bears a baby, and stop touching people. See what permission. I appreciate that the woman was extremely good natured. She was like, no, girl, I'm not pregnant. And I was so embarrassed. But that was an early life lesson. Don't be touching people. Leave pregnant people or suspected pregnant people the fuck alone. Don't leave people alone. Stop fucking. Don't touch me. Don't keep your hand to yourself. God damn it. Kim Brown is a lesson I learned. So anyway, I just had to share that with y'all. I will holler back at y'all Friday. Please tune in. Remix Morning Show, Black Liberation Media, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'll see you back on the Remix on Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Black Liberation Media. Love you guys. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. Thank you so much to our fantastic mods. And I will holler back at y'all for Friday. Deuces. See y'all. Cops ain't shit. Go get it.